Ellis, a very focused, quiet young man, composed. His French lady passenger has this light.
So this right here is called a sidecar. Now, if you guys are looking at this and thinking to yourself, what the hell is going on? Why haven't I heard about this form of motorsport? Well, you're on the same boat as me. I've never really looked into sidecar racing. I think the first time I ever heard about it was when I was watching the Motorsports channel back in like 2018. And I just saw these contraptions with two guys on them and thought to myself, what the hell is going on here? And it was just a field full of them around Brands Hatch. And when I actually saw them go off and start racing and seeing the back guy just go onto the rear, basically doing like a plank challenge, I just thought to myself, this is probably the craziest form of motorsports I've ever seen. I have to watch more. Now, if you guys are wondering, what is this double dash looking racing contraption that these guys have made? Well, it's basically, if you think about like a normal motorcycle just with a sidecar, except they made it into a form of racing. And you guys are confused on why the rear is just not held down by the massive balls that guy has by just leaning on the car. Well, what he is doing basically is helping the car turn, or I guess the motorcycle turn, through the corners. The way that these carts basically work is the front driver is basically the guy that's just doing the throttle and the braking as well as the turning. But if you guys know anything about motorcycle racing, you guys know that they do a little bit of leaning to help themselves corner in a lot better. But since the fact that you're doing a sidecar and you have 3 wheels, it's not going to turn as well as you would want it to turn into some of these corners. So in order to basically counteract that, they decided to come up with the cleverest thing in the world and just use a human body to help themselves turn into these corners. So the rear passenger that basically just looks like he's doing an imitation of Mario Kart Double Dash, his main purpose, other than just holding on for dear life, is to use his body as a way to help the car corner. So once he leans to the left, that helps the car turn to the left. Once he leans to the right, helps the car turn right. You know, pretty self-explanatory. But the crazy thing about this is just that you start noticing that these guys are not going super slow. They're going at least 150, 160 miles per hour down the straight, and then having to brake this car into some of these corners. And you know, going through these corners, they're not going slow either. They're going at least 40, 50, maybe even up to 80 miles per hour through some of these corners. And that can lead to a lot of craziness due to the fact that you're relying so much on that weight to just transfer over to one side and not have the car turn. And that has happened, of course, in some of these incidents. Not only that, but you have to also remember that these drivers and passengers are in a race. So it's not just 1, 2, 3 of these carts. It's a whole field of these guys just racing, trying to get to the line first. And it just absolutely blows my mind that these guys are just doing this in a racing setting. These guys are going side by side into some of these corners, going for overtakes, trying to outbrake each other. And of course, it can lead to some carnage. And not only do these guys race these cars, sometimes these guys actually take these on to time trials. And the most notable one is the Isle of Man challenge, which, if you guys don't know that, I highly recommend just watching a YouTube video about the Isle of Man. You guys are gonna have your mind blown even more. But they take these large cars and just drive them through the Isle of Man to do a time trial to see who can get to the finish line first. And I've actually think I've seen them race 1-on-1. You guys might have to let me know in the comments down below if they actually do doubleheader racing. But yes, they take these carts and they take them around the Isle of Man, trying to do these hot laps around it. And it's just absolutely insane, some of these lap times that these guys do. Now, when these guys are doing the time trials and the racing, you guys have to remember that every single time they go out onto the track or onto the circuit, they are basically putting their lives on the line. And I have to applaud them for the cojones that they have, because I wouldn't know if I'd be able to be the driver or the passenger, because in my opinion, I would just be way too afraid to do that. I feel a lot more comfortable being in a car, maybe on a motorcycle, but hanging off by the grips on my fingers, just laying sideways to help the cart turn, I don't know if I'd be up for that. That's just not my deal. But for all the guys that do it, I have so much respect for you guys, because you guys are basically putting your life on the line to just do something that you guys are so passionate about, and just to win in any competition you guys are doing, whether it's time trial or racing. Now, with this form of motorsports, of course, comes the danger, and unfortunately this sport has taken the lives of many of people, most notably the most recent one happening at the Isle of Man, where it was a father-son duo that lost their lives in the Isle of Man doing basically what they loved. And unfortunately, things just did not come to plan, and father Roger Stockton and son Bradley both lost their lives during the time trial around the Isle of Man. Now, piggybacking off of that, I have seen a lot of crashes and wrecks that have happened during these sidecar events, and luckily a lot of these people are able to walk away with minor injuries, but just unfortunate that sometimes, you know, things just don't go according to plan, and people do lose their lives. Now, if you guys want to learn more and more about this crazy lifestyle of sidecar racing, usually they have the races in Europe, so that's why it's a little bit difficult for people in the Americas to kind of know about this form of racing. I'm not sure if they have any here in the States, but from my understanding, I haven't seen anything with the championship on tracks that are happening in the United States. I've seen majority of them happening in Europe. If I'm incorrect though, let me know in the comments down below. So anyways, that is the crazy world of sidecar racing. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. If you guys want to see more about this, or if you guys are now interested in checking out the championship, let me know all that, and let's have a discussion down in the comments down below. And if you guys made it all the way to the end of the video, I'm happy you guys made it here. If you guys liked it, please smash that like button, help us out on the YouTube algorithm. Hit that subscribe button down below if you want to catch more content. My name is Andrew. Hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you guys on the next one. Peace.